Imagine a cluster of islands, jagged and unforgiving, rising from the turbulent waters of the North Atlantic. These are the Flannan Isles, a desolate archipelago 20 miles west of the Outer Hebrides, Scotland. Swept by fierce winds and pounded by relentless waves, these islands have long been shrouded in an air of mystery and foreboding. The islands are home to steep cliffs, treacherous currents, and unpredictable weather, making them a perilous place for any visitor. The largest island, Eilean Mor, is where the Flannan Isles Lighthouse stands sentinel. Completed in 1899, the lighthouse was a beacon of hope for sailors navigating the treacherous waters. Its powerful beam cut through the darkness, offering a lifeline in the face of danger. But the lighthouse keepers who manned this lonely outpost faced their own perils. Isolated from the mainland for weeks on end, they lived with the constant threat of the sea's fury. The isolation of the Flannan Isles was profound. The keepers, often 3 at a time, were the only inhabitants of this desolate world. Supplies arrived by ship, weather permitting, and communication with the mainland was sporadic at best. The men who volunteered for this duty were a hardy breed, accustomed to solitude and the dangers of the sea. But even the most seasoned keeper could not escape the feeling of unease that permeated these windswept islands. The Flannan Isles were a place of stark beauty and constant danger. Their remoteness and unforgiving nature made them a breeding ground for superstition and folklore. It was in this eerie setting that one of the most enduring mysteries of the sea would unfold. December 1900 dawned like any other on the Flannan Isles, with the wind howling and the waves crashing against the rocky shores. The lighthouse, however, stood firm, its beam a reassuring presence in the darkness. But on December 15th, the light failed to appear. The Hesperus, a passing ship, noted the absence of the signal and reported it upon reaching port on December 18th. Concern grew with each passing hour, for the light's failure was unprecedented. On December 26th, relief keeper Joseph Moore finally arrived aboard the relief ship, the Arona. He was met with an eerie silence. The lighthouse door was locked from the inside, the fire extinguished, and a chair overturned. An air of unease settled over Moore as he explored further. The clock had stopped, and there was no sign of the 3 keepers: James Duckett, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur. The logbook, found meticulously kept, offered a chilling timeline but no explanation. The last entry, dated December 15th, simply read, "Storm ended. Sea calm. God is over all." The entry was signed by Thomas Marshall, the second assistant keeper. But what was even more unsettling was the meticulous nature of the logbook entries right up to the day of the disappearance. The scene at the lighthouse was both perplexing and unsettling. The keepers had vanished without a trace, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions. What had become of the 3 men? Had they met with foul play, or had some unforeseen disaster befallen them? The mystery of the Flannan Isles lighthouse keepers had begun. The logbook recovered from the Flannan Isles lighthouse became the focal point of the investigation. It painted a picture of life on the island in the days leading up to the disappearance, but it also raised more questions than it answered. The entries, made mostly by Thomas Marshall, spoke of fierce storms and unusual occurrences. On December 12th, Marshall noted a high sea running, unusual even for the storm-battered islands. He also wrote of strong winds and an unprecedented wave that had crashed against the western landing. What was even more peculiar were the reports of the keeper's behavior. Marshall described James Duckett, the principal keeper, as being unusually quiet, while Donald MacArthur, the first assistant, was said to have been crying. These were strange and unsettling details, especially given the keepers' reputations as seasoned seamen. The logbook entries hinted at mounting tension and fear among the men, but the cause of their distress remained a mystery. Then on December 13th, the logbook entries abruptly stopped. There was no record of the keepers' activities for 2 days until the final chilling entry on December 15th. The message "Storm ended, sea calm, God is over all" was written in a steady hand, suggesting that whoever wrote it was not in immediate danger. But why was there no explanation for the missing days? And why had the keepers vanished without a trace? The logbook, meant to be a record of daily life on the island, had become a testament to the unknown. It offered tantalizing glimpses into the keepers' final days, but failed to provide any concrete answers. The mystery of the Flannan Isles deepened, fueled by the whispers of fear and uncertainty captured in the pages of the logbook. The disappearance of the Flannan Isles lighthouse keepers sent shockwaves across Scotland and beyond. Newspapers clamored for details, and the public was captivated by the mystery. Theories abounded, each more outlandish than the last. Some speculated that the keepers had been abducted by foreign spies, while others whispered of sea monsters or even ghostly apparitions. The isolated location of the Flannan Isles, coupled with the lack of concrete evidence, fueled speculation. The keepers were experienced seamen, familiar with the dangers of the sea. They were also in good health and had no known enemies. Their disappearance defied logical explanation, leading many to believe that something truly extraordinary had taken place. Adding to the enigma was the condition in which the lighthouse was found. The door was locked from the inside, suggesting that the keepers had not been forced out. The overturned chair and extinguished fire hinted at a struggle or a hasty departure. But why would the keepers leave the lighthouse in such a manner, especially during a storm? The mystery of the Flannan Isles lighthouse keepers became a tale whispered around campfires and recounted in hushed tones. It was a story of isolation, unexplained events, and the unforgiving power of the sea. The truth, it seemed, was lost to the winds and waves that battered the desolate islands. The absence of a definitive explanation for the disappearance of the Flannan Isles lighthouse keepers gave rise to a plethora of theories, each attempting to make sense of the seemingly inexplicable. Some theories centered around natural phenomena, proposing that a rogue wave, a sudden squall, or even an undersea landslide could have swept the men away. The treacherous waters surrounding the islands were known for their unpredictable nature, lending credence to these possibilities. Other theories delved into the realm of the paranormal. Tales of ghostly sightings and strange lights had long been associated with the Flannan Isles, leading some to believe that supernatural forces were at play. Legends of the Blue Men of the Minch, mythical creatures said to inhabit the waters near the islands, resurfaced, adding a chilling layer to the mystery. Human error or foul play also emerged as potential explanations. Could the keepers have become disoriented during the storm and fallen from the cliffs? Was there a possibility of an argument gone wrong, leading to a confrontation with fatal consequences? The lack of evidence made it impossible to rule out any scenario definitively. The theories, ranging from the plausible to the fantastical, reflected the public's fascination with the unknown. The mystery of the Flannan Isles lighthouse keepers became a blank canvas onto which people projected their fears, beliefs, and interpretations, ensuring that the story would endure long after the initial shock had subsided. In the wake of the Flannan Isles lighthouse keepers' disappearance, an official inquiry was launched to investigate the incident and determine the most probable cause. However, despite meticulous examination of the lighthouse, the surrounding area, and the logbook entries, the inquiry failed to provide a conclusive explanation. The lack of concrete evidence and the reliance on speculation hindered the investigation, leaving many questions unanswered. The inquiry concluded that the most likely scenario involved the keepers being swept away by a large wave while securing equipment near the cliff edge. This theory was supported by the discovery of a damaged rope and crate near the western landing, suggesting that the men had been working in that area. However, some found this explanation unsatisfactory, arguing that experienced keepers like Duckett, Marshall, and MacArthur would have been well aware of the dangers posed by high seas and would not have taken unnecessary risks. Critics of the inquiry pointed to inconsistencies and unanswered questions. Why were the keepers' oilskins and lifelines found inside the lighthouse if they were swept away while working outside? Why did the logbook entries suggest a period of calm after the storm, contradicting the theory of a rogue wave? The inquiry, while attempting to provide closure, ultimately raised more questions than it answered, adding to the mystique surrounding the case. The shortcomings of the official investigation ensured that the mystery of the Flannan Isles lighthouse keepers would live on. The lack of a definitive explanation, coupled with the enduring power of the story, ensured that the incident would continue to fascinate and intrigue, becoming a cautionary tale of the unpredictable nature of the sea and the enduring power of the unknown.